He was sobbing in his spirit, and my heart broke. And I asked him, "What is the matter?" And he said, "Mommy, is it because my father is dead that you are now giving me food without meat? I will not eat. I will not eat. You have to bring meat. I will not eat." And he started crying. One of the very first experiences I had to go through as a widow was for the fact that we couldn't feed as we used to feed. Like I said, for 3 years, my husband was sick. I was the one taking care of the family for 3 good years before he eventually died. And that had eaten deep even into our finances, into my business and all that. And within these 3 years I'm even talking about, I lost my mother-in-law 2 years before I lost my husband. So it was not really an easy stuff, having to carry all that burden. And that means we could no longer feed like we used to. We had to cut corners here and there to make sure that at least the children, that they ate something good, but maybe not what they were used to when their father was there. And I cannot forget this particular experience. One of the days that we had to cook without meat or fish for the very first time it was happening in my family. And my third son, he loves meat so much. In fact, his father actually spoiled him because every day when he's coming back from work, he buys suya. What we call suya is dry roasted meat, peppered meat. My husband made sure he bought suya every day as he's coming back from work. And my third son loves meat so much. He will not sleep until his father comes back. He will not sleep until he has eaten that suya. That is when he will go to sleep. His brothers will be asleep long ago. But my third son, he will not sleep. He will wait. It does not matter the time his father comes back. He will not sleep until he has eaten that. That's how much he loves meat. And so this fateful day, there was no fish, there was no meat. And I had to cook evening meal for the family. I think it was rice. I prepared. And I brought this rice. I dished it into the plates. Every other person was eating except my third son. And I looked into his eyes, and his eyes were welled up with tears. He was crying quietly. He was sobbing in his spirit. And my heart broke. And I asked him, "What is the matter?" And he said, "Mommy, is it because my father is dead that you are now giving me food without meat? I will not eat. I will not eat. You have to bring meat. I will not eat." And he started crying. And he left the food. I was heartbroken. I cried like I never cried before. It was a terrible experience for me. My son did not eat that food. No, he did not. He did not eat it. He cried and cried and cried until he slept. It was a terrible experience. The very next day, there was no light, and it was night. And while my husband was there, we never slept any day without light in the house. Even if we don't have NEPA light, the generator runs from night till morning. And there was no light. And we needed to put on the generator. We had fuel. It's not as if we didn't have fuel in the generator. We had fuel. But who was going to on the generator? There was nobody to on the generator. None of the children could on the generator. I had never put on the generator all my life. I tried to go into the generator room to see if I could put the generator on, and I didn't know how to go about it. And I walked back from the generator room to the house, dejected, and the cries started again. And the children started wailing again. It was the very first time in their life that they were going to sleep without light. What an experience. Howbeit, we managed. Howbeit, we started adjusting. We started adjusting. We started adjusting. We started adjusting to the situation.